When you first get started in real estate, you know that you need to get momentum going quickly. You're trying to figure out how to generate leads with low to no budget, and it can be a struggle. I relate. I bootstrapped everything in my real estate business for the first few years, and today I'm going to share some strategies that you can implement to avoid having to pay for leads. If you're new here, my name's Amanda, and this channel is all about growing your real estate business without ever making a cold call or knocking on a random door. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and use the free resources in the description below. If you're just getting started in real estate and you have more time than money, I want you to know you are not alone. I remember the days that I started my real estate business and I was walking dogs on the side to make ends meet, because there's a ramp up period when you're starting your own business. And in real estate, it can be a little longer than other types of businesses out there. So first up, I want you to focus on building relationships. This is the most important factor of how my business has grown over the years. And I did two things when I first started out in real estate. Keep in mind, this was a long time ago, over 15 plus years. So we're gonna tweak the strategy a little bit, but the concept is exactly the same. I started out sharing what I was doing on a daily basis on Facebook. Keep in mind, there were no stories or anything like that, and video wasn't even big back then. So in your case, you would want to share in your stories and share videos. But the concept is simply sharing what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. You're not saying, hey, come list your house with me. You're not saying, hey, are you thinking about buying? It's simply sharing the behind the scenes of your day-to-day. And I would be super vulnerable if I were a brand new agent and share my struggles, share my frustrations, be open with people. People are naturally curious and going to be interested in your journey. Personally, I would do that on Instagram, but pick a platform that works for you and start sharing your journey becoming a real estate agent and growing your business. Next up is actually having relationships with other people. You want to focus on nurturing relationships with people you already have. That friend that you haven't checked in in months, say, hey, I was thinking of you. Would you want to grab coffee? I would love to catch up. And I did that for coffee and lunch dates at least twice a week when I was growing my real estate business. I used money that I would have been using to pay for leads to be contacting strangers and invested it into coffees and lunches with people I already had some type of rapport with. This comes very naturally if you are not interested in cold calling and door knocking like I wasn't. It's natural for me to have relationships, and I don't want you to make it about real estate. That's always going to come up. They're going to ask how you're doing. They're probably going to see you sharing it on social media. So they'll always naturally ask what you have going on too, and then you can share what you're working on, but don't ask them for business. Don't try to be salesy. You are just simply going to have coffee or lunch with a friend. The next thing I did religiously was handwritten notes. I would send 5 handwritten notes 5 days a week. So that's 5 a day, 5 days a week, 25 notes a week. And there is a ramp up period for this too, but it works. If you commit to it, I don't know anyone who doesn't like receiving handwritten notes, but the key is to start with writing them to other agents. I like to write notes to people to say thank you and be grateful in general, and that's something that you can implement down the road. But when you're a new agent, you've got to be strategic. Time is money. So start looking up agents in other markets that may have referrals for you and start writing them notes. In the note, I would include that I'm an agent in Northern Virginia. I wouldn't tell them I was new. They really didn't need to know that, and that didn't mean that I wouldn't take great care of their clients. I'd probably take better care of their clients because I was so desperate for business that I really wanted to help people. And that's what I want you to think about. Contact those agents with a note saying, I will take great care of your clients, and then let them know the referral fee you're willing to pay. Personally, I always offered a slightly higher referral fee because I always felt that that would come back to me, and it works. I got my first call from an agent 4 months after sending my very first note out. Her clients were coming into town in 2 days, and I, of course, magically made my schedule work because I had really nothing else to do. And those people ended up purchasing a home in the next 2 weeks, and that was the very first real estate transaction that I ever had. It wasn't my first closing because I already had somebody else I was working with, but it was one of my first contacts in real estate. And had I not taken the time to write those notes every single day, I never would have gotten that business. I didn't sell the most. I definitely didn't have like this huge track record of producing. I didn't have a big online footprint. It's because I wrote the note. And when the agent reached out, she said, "Hey, I got your note a little while ago, and I actually have people moving to your area. If you have time and you know how to write letters, you've got this one in the bag." Strategy number 3 is showing client appreciation. And I know you're probably thinking, well, I don't have any clients right now. And that's true, but you will. And what you want to do is start small. In my case, I started extremely small because, again, I didn't have much of a budget. But I did have a friend who was growing her own small business, and she was an in-home wine consultant. So I started hosting small groups of people in my home to do a wine tasting. It was a win for me because I was doing something that people enjoyed and I enjoyed it too. And it was a win for my friend because it helped get her in front of new people too. Those small events that I hosted, I used to do them every 2 weekends out of every month. I would break them up every other weekend because I needed a little break to do open houses too. But however you want to slice it, make sure that you are showing appreciation to people that you already have a relationship with. Now, another tip when you are hosting some type of small event like this is to offer for them to bring a friend. Friends are good for your business and you want to meet those friends. But again, this is not about real estate. It is simply about showing appreciation to people you already know. And then what's going to happen over time is those events are going to grow and grow. And what happened with my in-home wine tastings is it got so large that my little townhouse at the time could not hold everyone. So then we graduated and started hosting at a winery once a year. And we did that for a few years. And the last event that we held at a winery had over 250 people come. I didn't know all of those people, but I got to know them at the winery because friends of friends had brought them. Do this for your clients, your friends, friends of friends. Think about what you already like to do and then create some type of event around it so that you are showing appreciation while also naturally growing your business. Strategy number 4 is joining a group to expand your client base. And I want to start out by saying, again, do not join a group for the purpose of getting business. Join a group that has something to do with something that you already like and want to do more, or maybe it's something new to you that you want to learn more about and get involved in. There are so many different types of groups available to us. Really think about how your life looks like now. What do you enjoy doing? Who do you enjoy being around? And then from there, think of what you can do to do more of that or to learn a new skill within a group setting. What this is going to do is expose you to new people, but in a natural setting. It's not going to be forced. It's not going to be about real estate. But in a group, you're going to consistently see these people and you're going to meet new people. And from there, conversations start to form, and every real estate transaction starts with a conversation. You're going to go from conversation to relationship to then real estate transaction. And it's never about the transaction. You've got to keep that in mind. Don't join a group just to try to get more business. Join a group because you're genuinely interested in it. I'm sure you have something to bring to the table too, and let it evolve from there. Strategy number 5 is open houses. And open houses are a great way to get business. And yes, they take a lot of your time, but they sure don't take a lot of your money. You don't need your own listings. You can always find an open house to host within your brokerage, unless you're in a really small brokerage, and then you may need to reach out to agents within your area to see if you can host their open house. It's going to depend on what their brokerage rules are. Some brokerages do not allow agents from a different brokerage to host opens, but don't let that discourage you because that's not across the board. Open houses, when done consistently with the right strategy, can introduce you to new people who are actively looking to buy a home and they don't have an agent. You've got to be consistent about it, and you definitely have to advertise them correctly. I've got a video on how to host a killer open house. You can check that out. But it doesn't cost a lot of money, and it can really be a great ROI when done in the right fashion. Growing your real estate business when you are first starting out can seem like nothing is happening even when you're putting all the work in, and I know that can be discouraging. Think about it as laying one brick at a time. Everything that you're doing, even though you're not seeing results immediately, is getting you one step closer to getting your first real estate client. Do not give up. Make sure that you are doing the things that you need to do consistently on a daily basis, and you will be successful. I hope you got some value from this video. If you did, please consider hitting that like button. And until I see you on the next one, thanks for watching.